All right, today we're diving straight into a really fascinating piece of research.
Yeah, this one's a big one.
It's all about the foundational elements of a paper on what's called Temporal Displacement Theory, or TDT.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission here for you is to just pull out the core concepts, the roadmap, really, so you can grasp the whole framework without having to read the entire paper.
Exactly. We're skipping right to the core argument, the good stuff in the introduction, and the theoretical framework sections.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The entire thing seems to hinge on this TDT. What makes temporal displacement theory so, so foundational?
Well, what's interesting is how they define it right out of the gate. It's an applied framework for weighted cognitive alignment.
Weighted cognitive alignment. Okay. Right. So it tells you immediately that this isn't just some abstract idea. It's a theory built to solve a very specific problem.
And that problem is...
It's managing all these different cognitive weights. So think priorities, biases, values.
But with a time element, I'm guessing from the name? That's the absolute key. The temporal displacement part is all about that inevitable lag, the gap between when a human sets a goal and when the AI system actually gets around to acting on it.
So this is more than just a rehash of, say, standard utility functions, because systems have been trying to weigh preferences for decades.
That's a great point, but no. It's not just about prioritization. It's about the synchronization of those priorities across time.
Which is much harder.
So much harder. And this is where the core innovation comes in. It's something the paper calls the temporal gating function.
The TGF. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for you, the listener. The TGF is the mechanism that stops the whole system from just, freezing up?
Exactly. The paper describes it as a dynamic buffer.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of demanding perfect, instantaneous alignment across all these conflicting weights...
Which is impossible, right?
Totally impossible. The TGF actively imposes a time limit on how much those weights can vary.
So how does that work in practice?
Well, if a specific weight, say, a human's long-term environmental value, conflicts too severely with an AI's immediate goal, like speed or efficiency,
Yeah.
the TGF doesn't just throw out the human's value. Instead, it temporarily gates it. It isolates that lower priority conflict for a bit, just until the overall system gets back to a stable place.
That idea connects TDT directly to the most critical context here, AI and human interaction.
Absolutely.
It's like the framework is designed with a structural tolerance for disagreement. It's basically saying, look, we know human intent and AI execution are never going to be perfectly in sync, so we need a circuit breaker.
Precisely. And the theory behind it actually models these conflicts using concepts from entropy mapping.
To show how things fall apart.
Yeah, to illustrate how cognitive coherence just dissipates over time when there's misalignment. So the real value you get from this dive is realizing that TDT doesn't seek consensus. It seeks coherence.
Through the timed management of conflict.
That's the why and the how behind it all.
So what does this all mean for you? This paper is really providing the conceptual blueprint for how these complex, varied minds, AI and human, can achieve coherent collaboration.
It's moving beyond those simple input-output models.
Yeah, it addresses the messy reality of time-dependent human intention, and understanding the function of that temporal gating function is really the key to grasping the next generation of these systems.
If we just connect this to the bigger picture for a second,
Yeah.
it leaves you with a really important question to think about.
Okay.
So this TDF temporarily gates certain weights to keep the system coherent.
Right.
The question you should be asking yourself is, who established that time threshold? Who decides when a conflict has gone on too long? Is it the human operator?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it the AI's own optimization model? And that really makes you think about who or what is ultimately defining the tempo of our coexistence.